we used to do something called PEA or PEE. You guys might have it. Point, example, explanation. Do you remember this? So I'm trying to tailor the thing for the youngsters, okay? Because I know we can't both be talking high theology, right? Mashallah. PEE. But when someone asks you a question, just remember something, yeah? This is what I actually use. The first thing you do, someone asks you any question, the framework I use is the APECA. I know this might sound like long-winded. APECA, yeah? So it's not just PEA or PEE, it's APECA. So how does it work? The first thing you do is you question the assumptions, A for assumptions. You can put this down if you like, it's no problem. This might be the only thing I actually give you of utility today. Someone speaks to you and they say, well, why is it that your religion says that a man can marry 4 wives? I don't know why I keep using this example in particular. It's like my religion. Or that a man can marry a Christian and a woman cannot marry a Christian. This is in the Quran, right? So why is it that the Quran discriminates against women in this way? How would anyone here answer this question? Before you tell me, let me give you the framework, all right? The first thing you do is A for assumption. So every question has an assumption. What is the assumption of this question? If I ask you, why is it that a man can marry 4 and a woman can't? What is a possible assumption of this question? Yeah. So that's aberrational, anti-normative, or wrong even, or that there should be equality. There should be an equality to begin with between men and women in all cases. If you don't question the assumption, you lose the argument. Full stop. You lose it. If you say, oh, because this, but women are given rights elsewhere, whatever answer you give, if you do not question the assumption of the shubha, and the assumption always goes back, like 95% of the time, to either feminism or liberalism. Okay? The assumption will go back to those 2 things. So you can put it in your mind like that. Yes, any shubha, any misconception anybody has, it goes back to feminism or liberalism. Not atheism. Atheism has nothing to offer. Atheism is an empty barrel. Atheism is nothing. As the Sheikh, he said correctly, or the Maulana, he said correctly, wallahi, it's a very good point. He said, agnostics, he said that it's like saying, I'm jahil. They're saying, I don't know. So if you don't know, why are you asking me any question? You don't know anything. Imagine someone who says, I don't know, and then he's telling you what to believe in. What do you believe? I'm an agnostic. So why is it that your religion says this? Well, you said you don't know. So why are you so certain about something, you know? If you're an agnost, if you're atheist, you don't actually have, by necessity, any moral stance. You can be an atheistic fascist, Nazi. It's true. They're not incompatible. So atheism is not the issue here. The head of the snake, there's 2 heads. If there was 2 heads, it would be second wave feminism and liberalism. And if there was one of the 2, it would be liberalism. You need to know what this ideology is. So the assumption is that there should be an equality between men and women. And that there's that identicality in value, or equality of value equals identicality in roles. That like things should be treated the same. That's the assumption. Now, how do we deal with that assumption? We say, you prove it now. That's your assumption. You see how easy that was? It's like you're playing tennis. He bats a ball to you, and you freak out. You just bat it back. Now he has to bat it to you. In other words, now you say to him what? You say to him, what's your proof? One question, simple. What's your proof that men and women should be treated equally in all cases? And whatever they say back, you say, whatever they say, you just say, look, is that on an objective level? So you're saying whatever you've just said there explains that men and women should be treated equally, objectively. Yani meaning the same level as 2 + 2 = 4. The same level as that. And if they say yes, then you can just say you're wrong and explain why not. But it's impossible for them to prove that assumption. So the first thing in the framework was A for the framework is APECA, by the way. Yeah, A is assumption. Then P is now you make your point, like PEA or PEE. You make your own point. And then E is what? No, before that, example. So you bring some stats, you bring some points. You must make sure you use this in school. Yeah, very good framework. So you say assumption, point, evidence or example. Give some example. Now the C stands for counter example. Some may say, and you think, what would they say back to you? This will work everywhere except for in marriage. I've tried it. I have. Wallahi. But for 9 years I've been trying. Why didn't you do this and that? Because the assumption is I tried it. You can't win a logical argument with your spouse. Just the moment you've argued with your spouse, you've lost. And no, there's been times where I think like in my mind, I won. Like I won. If there was a crowd, they'll be cheering for me. But wallahi, yeah. Wallahi. However, I look to my left and she's like, not in a very good mood. I say, what have I really won now? I get no money from this. I get no thawab from this. I get nothing from this. So don't do this with your parents either. You have to be good with your parents, and you have to be good with the elders of your community, because they're the ones who, their hard sweat, blood, and tears, they allowed us to be here in the first place. So you can't be messing around. They're using these kind of things to go and attack you, your parents and elders. But A, P, E, C is for counterexample, and then A is analysis, which is like explanation. Yeah, it's like PEE. And if you have a framework always in mind, someone asks you any question, assumption. Okay, the assumption is X, Y, Z. Then the point you make, then believe me, they will never win.